Speaking of the Browns, literally everything that could go wrong went wrong in that first quarter. 3 consecutive plays, 3 turnovers. One of them being a donkey kick from an offensive lineman kicking the ball out of the hand of your running backs. One of them being a shovel pass directly to a defensive lineman. People are putting that on Baker Mayfield. That's not Baker Mayfield's fault. Lawrence Guy just blew up that entire play, and it looked terrible. But that's what the Browns have done, is they looked terrible so far this season. I said on Get Up this morning that it might be getting a little hot in the kitchens this morning. There might be some conversation happening around some coolers over there at the Browns facility and maybe all around Cleveland. Like, hey, this Freddie Kitchens guy, he stinks. We are the most penalized team in documented history of the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay? Most penalized team in documented history. We just came off a bye week, and in the first quarter, we had 3 turnovers and 3 plays. Can't do that against Patriots if you want to win. Can't do that against anybody if you want to win. Now, granted, they put up a pretty good fight. I think they look good. But would the Patriots have stepped on their neck even more if they had to? Yes. That's what the Patriots would have done. And I said this last week. It sucks for Freddie Kitchens and the Browns that they get a bye week. They get a chance to evaluate what went wrong. What did they do right? Not much. What went wrong? How do we fix it? That's what a bye week's for. Let's get re-energized, recharged, kind of rebooted. And then you got to go play the Patriots, who are running on a short week, but even on a short week are going to be more prepared than the Browns are.
About that.
They're on a short week. Still more prepared than the Browns because that's what the Patriots do. But this Browns team, very much overhyped before the season. I bought into it.
You did.
I was all in. I'm like, hey, you know what? They shipped Greg Williams out of town. Freddie Kitchens probably the right choice. Baker Mayfield last year showed a lot of spurts of excellence. Let's assume he gets better. The biggest transition was from 1 year to 2 year. Your first year to second year, you get better. And then now you got Odell Beckham gifting Tom Brady things after the game. OBJ goat cleats while Baker Mayfield looks on in disappointment. Optically looks bad. Odell Beckham could have done that behind the scenes. Instead does it right in the middle of the field after getting slaughtered again. It's just everything's going bad for the dog pound. And Cleveland does not deserve this. But boy, just like the Titanic in its unsinkable ways, all they needed was one drunk guy to look out and say, hey, there's an iceberg out there. Let's turn left. Mm-hmm. For the Browns, I don't think they got a single drunk guy out there telling them to turn left because they're running into every possible ice. Penalties, boom. That takes a hole out of the ship. Turnovers, boom. That takes a hole out of the ship. Offensive schemes that get your quarterback killed when you have no offensive line, boom. That takes a hole out of the ship. And at some point, the dog pound's barking, hoo, 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 and that ship's just sinking, and Freddie Kitchens and the damn band are just playing all the way down. And yet again, we have another wasted year for the Cleveland Browns with so much hope, so much promise. And instead, it's the same old Browns. Quote Diggs.
You look at the Browns, and it's obviously the players aren't performing either, but it's hard.
Miss throws, miss blocks,
right,
everything like that.
But it's hard not to think that Freddie Kitchens doesn't just stink. I mean, this guy is more focused on what Golden Corral is closest to the stadium after the game.
Are you kidding me right now?
I mean, he's always MFing someone on the sideline. It's like, hey, maybe be a little introspective. You suck at your job, all right? You're terrible at your job.
By the way, all of Cleveland feels this way. I did a little search into the Dog Pound yesterday. Local radio show host, Dog Pound Faithful. We're talking about people whose Twitter profiles are just dogs. Mm-hmm. Love the Cleveland Browns. I've been there since day one. At the beginning of the season, I scrolled back. Very optimistic. Love the Freddie Kitchens hire. Love it. Now they're just like, get this guy the hell out of our town. Run him out of here quicker than you did Hugh Jack City, and let's get this thing moving forward because what's going to happen? Players are going to want to get out of there. Right? Cleveland's a beautiful city, but let's assume that there's nicer ones that players might want to live in. They're going to want to get out of there. It's going to be an abandoned ship type situation, and I assume that the Browns front office and Browns organization knows that they're going to have to make some sort of change because this thing could get very ugly very quick, which is what the Cleveland Browns have had to deal with for the last 3 decades. They don't need to deal with it this year with so much promise and hope.
No, it's pretty clear from like an X's and O's standpoint that he is not out coaching anyone. Like he is always basically it's like the same thing as expecting me to go in and blow up Khalil Mack in like an Oklahoma drill.
I think you could do it.
Guess what? Not happening.
I think you could do that, by the way.
We'll see. Pretty quick.
Zito just got in my ear and said T.Y. Hilton is